Morning. I'd like to welcome you all to our Thursday 1:30 p.m. session with Annie from Cyber Seniors, where she'll be covering what is Age Tech for today. So Annie, if you could again introduce yourself and your topic for today, we'd appreciate that. And thank you so much for coming on to our session.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Alex. So today we are going to cover age tech. We are going to discuss what is it and how it can help all the adults and individuals with a disability or living with a disability. So I will share my screen now and we can take a look at it. And let's see. So I'm assuming everybody can see now.
You're good to go. Thank you so much.
No problem. All right. So age tech and what is it? And before I start, I forgot to say that my name is Annie. I work for an organization, a nonprofit organization based in Canada that helps all the adults with the use of technology. So we cover a variety of tech topics on a regular basis. So if you want to check our page, you can go to www.cyberseniors.org. That is our website. At the end of our presentation, I will show more information in case you want to check other topics related with technology covered by the organization I work for. All right, without further ado, let me take a look at this. And age tech is eventually or essentially shaping a new era of assistive technology for older adults. If you don't know what assistive technology is, and that is a term that is new to you, we will cover the definition of that term later on in our slideshow. And here is our disclaimer. Our presentations are intended for educational purposes only and do not replace independent professional judgment. The statements of fact and opinions expressed are those of the participants individually, highlighting the diversity of perspectives, and are not the opinion or positions of Cyber Seniors unless stated otherwise. Cyber Seniors does not endorse, approve, and assumes no responsibility for the information content, precision, or completeness. Please note that the sessions are audio recorded and may be published in various media, including audio and video forms without further notice. So with the disclaimer out of the way, let's dip in. All right, so we are gonna start with a little bit of statistics, so you guys have a little bit of background on this topic. So the World Health Organization estimates that 2.5 billion people need assistive commodities and technologies. With a growing aging population, this number will grow likely over to 3.5 billion people by 2050. And in the table of contents that we are going to review today, we have what is age tech, examples of age tech devices and services, assistive technology and aging in place, and resources and support for all the adults that you can use across the United States. Okay, so while sometimes poorly thought out regarding ease of use, the vast majority of technology is designed for everybody, if we think in terms of practicity. Consider smartwatches, Google Search, and Amazon Alexa, or even devices such as smartphones that provide numerous functions that individuals of any age group can rely on, including navigation, video calls, gaming, reading the news, listening to music, watching videos, and social media. In essence, these tools are designed for all ages and most people can use them. Still, configuration adjustments and software customizations could make them much more accommodating for people with different limitations, such as older adults. That goes to say that not all technology is created with the use of older adults in mind. That is why areas such as age tech come to existence to accommodate different needs and different ages. Of course, specific needs drive the creation of a specific technology, as I just mentioned. specific health issues and limitations such as hearing loss, vision loss, or mobility limitations produce more specific technologies to fill the gap and the need of the population. These issues can occur at any age, but are commonly present among older populations, as you guys may know. It is the responsibility of tech innovators to ensure their designs are as inclusive as they are accessible, which is not always the case. And here I have included this screenshot that talks about a article that was published in 2019 by the National Science and Technology Council in the US government. The report detailed the 6 function capabilities in which technology could have a positive impact on the lives of older adults. So if you pay attention to the image, you have cognition, key activities for independent living, communication and social connectivity, transportation, personal mobility, and access to healthcare. So within those 6 categories, you have other areas that were broken down into subfunctionalities to understand what are the needs of older adults and this kind of population. And if we go over the 6 categories, you have that in key activities and independent living, for example, you have medication, hygiene, nutrition. In communication and social connectivity, you will find social communication, hearing, translate patient-physician conversations. Sometimes that is not as clear, believe it or not. Transportation, not only public transportation, but the capacity of driving. Personal mobility, like monitoring, rehabilitation, assisted movement. Access to healthcare, whether that is telehealth or e-care planning. And cognition, which is activities related with monitoring, training, and financial security. And now that you have that in mind, here is the definition for age tech. So age tech explores the intersection between technology and longevity, and this technology has a tool that supports healthy aging while assisting care partners and health professionals in improving the quality of life for aging adults. Many people want the same things as they get older: stay in their homes, maintain independence for as long as possible, and turn to family and friends for help when needed. Staying in your own home as you get older is called aging in place. However, many older adults and their families have safety concerns when getting around or doing other daily activities and living at home as they age. And therefore, this is why ATEC come into place, because they can create different things for people who decide aging in place as opposed to go to a living facility or assisting living facility. When it comes to digital enablement, the innovative solutions that age tech provides have the potential to change healthcare for older adults by providing them with access to better care, assistance, and support. Thus far, age tech is not just limited to healthcare. It also covers areas such as housing, transportation, and entertainment. When it comes to digital enablement, we can find the following age tech categories. So you have services purchased by older adults, services purchased on behalf of older adults, services trade between older and younger generations, and services delivered to future older adults. And we are going to jump into the examples of age tech. I just want to give you different examples as to why this topic is so important in case you are aging older adult and you want to stay independent as much as you possibly can. Age tech solutions range from simple devices such as fall detectors and medication reminders to more complex technologies such as telemedicine, virtual reality training, artificial intelligence, and also robotics. We have here wearable technology. So these are devices that track movement, heart rate, and other vital signs. These devices can detect falls and other health issues and alert caregivers or your family in case of an emergency. For instance, blood pressure monitors are tools used at home to measure blood pressure. They are important for the nearly 65% of Americans over 60 with high blood pressure. Regular monitoring at home can lower actually the risk of heart disease, stroke, and kidney disease. When it comes to telemedicine services, these allow seniors to connect with healthcare providers remotely. You don't have to go anywhere. You can do it from the comfort of your own place, which can be especially useful for those who live in areas that are have not easy access to transportation, or if the older adults has difficulty with mobility. Smart video devices like Amazon Echo Show and Google Nest Hub are crucial in connecting older adults to their caregivers, telehealth appointments, and emergency services. For example, these devices allow individuals with low vision to identify items through the camera and voice commands. Therefore, these type of devices foster a strong sense of independence and self-sufficiency. So here is a smart home technology. We have covered this presentation in the past, but this is kind of a reminder. It is also an essential part of age tech because devices that are considered smart, such as thermostat, lighting, security systems, can help seniors live independently for longer by making easier to manage their home. Smart thermostats, for example, allow older adults with limited mobility to set temperatures on their smartphones, tablets, or even through voice activation. For those on a fixed income, they are also energy efficient and may help lower electricity bills. This one is a little bit more techy and pretty much very advanced, but robotic assistants. These are other exciting developments in the age tech field. And essentially, these are kind of devices that can help older adults with tasks such as cooking, cleaning, and medication management, allowing them to maintain independence and quality of life. I know this one is not gonna sit good with everybody because some of us might be a little bit uncomfortable with a robot helping us, but this is also considered part of the biggest development of age tech. So a common misconception is that age tech is just assistive technology or digital health. While there is some overlap between these three, presented here in this picture, there is a lot of white space in between. This white space is inhabited by the tech designed to help older adults achieve non-health related goals, such as learning about finances, staying on top of their taxes in later life. And these will also include things such as lifelong learning in the case that you are aging but still want to learn more things, whether it's to learn a new language or participate in classes such as the ones we have. So there are different things in these categories, and that's why I decided to include assistive tech, age tech, digital health, being age tech in the middle of the two, because assistive tech is more related to health. Digital health is related with things that you can do to improve your overall well-being. Okay, so here are the definitions, and we are going to start with adaptive technology. Many people use adaptive technology as a synonym for assistive technology, but the two types of technology are significant different. Adaptive technology refers to a special versions of existing technologies or tools, usually used by people with disabilities such as vision, hearing, and mobility limitations. An assistive technology is any term, piece of equipment, or system used to increase, maintain, or improve the functional capacities of individuals with a disability. And here are some examples of adaptive technology. So you have a screen magnifier. So this one is an example of that. So you have the smartphone in the back and you have the screen magnifier in front, which, as you can see, makes the whole thing to see bigger. You have adaptive keyboards, like keyboards that have larger keys with wider space in between to facilitate visually impaired individuals or people who may have some kind of, mobility issue. Here's an example on the right side. You also have a screen reader software, which is the capacity to read the different functions you are presented in your electronic device. so you can navigate them better. And technologies such as closed captioning programming. So now you can find these kind of systems almost everywhere in a streaming platform such as Netflix, even in Zoom. Sometimes you can use caption to transcribe whatever the person in the meeting is saying, especially if you are having a little bit of trouble listening to them and stuff of that nature. So here is assistive technology. This is an umbrella term used to reference assistive products and technologies that aim to improve a person's function related to cognition, communication, hearing, mobility, self-care, and vision, boosting their health, well-being, inclusion, and participation in society. Aging in place. We mentioned briefly what this was. Accordingly to the World Health Organization, by 2030, about 1 in 6 people will be 60 or older. Though everyone's aging process is unique, many older adults are deciding whether to remain in their homes or move to an environment like an assisted living community, whichever best caters to their well-being and supports healthy aging. Research suggests that many older adults want to remain in their homes around people they love and the community they are used to until it becomes very difficult for them to do so. Aging in place means choosing to stay in your home with family, friends, and neighbors as you grow older instead of moving to a residential facility designed to support long-term care, such as assisted living establishments. In March 2023, U.S. News and World Report surveyed about 2,000 U.S. adults aged 55 and older to learn how they use assistive technology in their homes and how they plan to use these devices to help them age in place. The overwhelming majority of respondents, which was 93%, agreed that aging in place was an important goal for them. And here are the benefits of aging in place. If you are interested or want to take a look at the products offered by this category, they allow better socialization with family and friends, physical activity tracking, emergency response, GPS tracking, organization of health information, such as applications that collect your vital signs. If you have any problem with your blood pressure, or perhaps you have a heart condition, some applications allow you to have an alarm whenever you have something that is over the top. They also give you the opportunity to set reminders for your appointments, do medication management, like control what kind of pills you take, and offer some kind of safety for your home. Like for instance, if you are using products like a smart home technology, you can set up cameras at the entrance of your house and it will tell you who is there in case you are a little bit afraid of people entering your house or things of that nature. I went a little bit extreme on that, but I hope that makes sense. And here are devices or systems with the potential to make aging in place easy. So on the left side, you have service-related service-related apps. In this category, we have grocery deliver or food delivered applications, right? You will find Walmart Grocery, Instacart. I know some of you probably have used Instacart already, Amazon Fresh. And these are essentially services that allow you to purchase your groceries online and get them delivered to your place. And that is also something that will help you if you are intending to age in place, because you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to go to a store if you have any problems with transportation or you cannot drive, you have a difficulty moving around. This is an excellent way to do that. In the other category, we have wearable medical or health-related trackers. Smartwatches and fitness trackers offer a wide range of benefits, such as the ability to monitor health concerns and send reports to healthcare providers. An example that I can think of, I use a Fitbit watch, and I have issues with migraines, and not sleeping correctly is something that triggers my migraine. So essentially, my Fitbit tells me how long do I sleep, how good my sleep was, and those things I can present to my doctor when I go for my regular checkout. So many applications come in package with the wearable medical or health related tracker, so you can monitor the things that are more concerning to your health in these kind of systems. In the other hand, you have assistive smart home technology. So in this example, I have included motion sensor lights, which eventually turn on when they detect movement from 10 to 15 feet away. They illuminate areas that may be dangerous in dark, like staircases or something like that. And they are also useful for guiding someone with low vision from one room to the other. So these are different systems and devices, such as I said before, that allow people who want to age in place to do it better without exposing themselves to, hazards or issues that one will encounter if you are by yourself at your home. More devices, you have assistive listening devices. These help amplify the sounds you want to hear, especially when there is a lot of background noise. Also, they are known as ALDS, can be used with a hearing aid to help hear certain sounds better. So if you want to trigger something, perhaps the voice of people instead of the background noise, you can do that with these kind of devices. You also have medical alert systems and devices, and these allow users to connect with emergency services in case of a fall or other event, like a heart attack or even strokes. Alert devices mostly come as wearable, meaning you have to put them somewhere, whether it's a necklace, like a watch, like I mentioned, the Fitbit have that kind of function, bracelets, or even a pendant. They are especially helpful for older adults who live alone, and they will look something to what you see in the picture. So the assistive listening devices look like this, and the medical alert, this is one of the examples. And they can do different things depending on what is your concern. What matters the most to older adults who intend to use assistive or health-related technologies, such as the one we have mentioned, is that they are easy to use, also easy to set up. They are wireless, meaning no cables, and accessible using a mobile application, because these are very popular these days, and they can be affordable, right? If a technology is not affordable, it's not easy for everybody to access. It has been said that aging populations rely a lot on manuals from the product they buy, family and friends, and healthcare or social services personnel to help them tackle the learning process of using their new devices. You might be aware of that already. Just a reminder that normally when an older adult purchases a new device or a new technology, likely they are relying on the things I just mentioned. And here are resources and support for older adults. So the first one that I include here is Meals on Wheels America. This delivers breakfast, lunches, and dinners to older adults nationwide. The organization partners with local community programs to provide meals and check on clients. You can use them and their search tool to find a particular program in your area. If you want to take a look at that, I have included some of the links to these resources in the presentation. You have Habitat for Humanity's Aging in Place. This is a program that offers home repairs and modifications to make older adults' homes safer and improve their quality of life. They can also connect you with community services such as house cleaning and grocery delivery. And you can use Habitat for Humanity's locator tool to find services near you if that's something you might be interested. More services here. So you have elder care. This is a service for from the government administration on aging. They can connect you with support services in your community. You can call the 1-800-677-1116 or use their elder care locator tool in their website to access some of the services they do. As I mentioned, each of these one, I have included a link that you can click on and it will redirect you to that option. Also here we have the Department of Health and Human Services. They have a list of older adult resources by state that you can click on to find Medicare experts if that is a concern to you. And lastly, here we have the National Council on Aging that has published several resources on topics such as fall prevention, Medicare, and paying for prescriptions. So those resources we decide to include here in the goal of aging in place is related to age tech. And lastly, here is our last slide. So if you have any questions and you would like to learn this lesson with a Cyber Seniors mentor, you can go to our website. I have included the link here, www.cyberseniors.org. And we also host weekly tech drop-in sessions from 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursdays. Now, if you have any questions, you feel free to ask them.
Oh, thank you so much for your wonderful presentation, Annie. If you could go back to the slide with the contact info with the website so folks can take a screenshot if they like and write down that information.
Okay.
I know folks would appreciate that. Yep, thank you. And again, thank you all so much for joining Annie's session today on Age Tech. You'll be able to view this session on our YouTube channel later on. If you all have any questions for Annie about anything that she discussed today, any comments, anything you'd like to share regarding her session today, please raise your hand in Zoom. And again, thank you for having those that slide up with their websites as well. I appreciate that, Annie. Thank you so much.
No problem.
And I also put the links to some of those resources as well in the chat, and you can also Google some of the other ones as well. So I hope that helps out. First up is Doris. Hi, Ms. Doris. How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you, Alex?
Good, good, good.
And I just wanted to ask you, do you have a link for Habitat?
Yeah, so all the links, and I can copy right now the link because I do have it. All the links that I use and the resources that I present today are in the presentation. So you can access them from there. I think, Alex, you just copy it there. Is that right?
So I put the links. I put the link for Habitat in the chat, Ms. Doris. So it's the one below the Meals on Wheels one. But yes, again, the session will be posted, but we don't share the presentation. So please make sure you take advantage of the links on the in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't see that one. That's why I was
asking. I sent it about 3 minutes ago. So just make sure you check out the chat. I just sent a reply to it as well.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, thank you. I just reposted that again as well in the chat. Appreciate that. Any other questions or comments? Anything for Annie for you all?
Oh, shoot.
If you guys don't have any questions, well, I can prepare. I want to show you something that I use. For example, it's very related to age tech. It's an application that I use for my personal fitness tracker, which is something related to what we saw today. And also I brought a couple questions to see if you want to participate. So Alex, if there is no question, just let me know if I can go over this.
Oh yeah, that's a fun surprise. No problem, Annie.
Okay. So I'm gonna
cool.
use
Yeah, we've talked about the Apple's Health app, so that
Oh, you did? Wonderful.
Yes, that one.
So this is a comparable to that one. Okay, so let me get my phone ready and I will show you so the things that I can manage here. It will take me a minute, Alex, so
that's okay. You're logging on another device, right?
Yeah, I'm logging on, not logging on another device. I just need to connect my device to be able to share. That's all.
Yes, Miss Gloria, it's the link right below Meals on Wheels. I'll do that one separately as well. So yeah, there are two links in that chat, but I just put the Habitat one separately by itself. So again, I hope that helps out. And again, thank you all so much for joining. Make sure to stay on to complete a poll at the end.
Yeah, I know this one wasn't the most fun one because there is a lot of jargon in there. So I hope that you
It's okay.
guys,
We just had a similar organization talk about assistive tech. So, you
yeah,
talked about some of those topics as well, and cover some of the things they may not have covered. So it was very resourceful.
thank you, Alex. All right, guys. Here is coming. Let me double check this. Okay, seems like I have to restart. Okay, so in the meantime, my phone is restarting. I have a question if anybody wants to answer that question. All right, have you had any medical appointments online, or any of you have used telemedicine?
You can raise your hand and so we can see how many. If you've used telehealth apps, it can include Zoom if you've been on a doctor's appointment on Zoom or any other telehealth apps to be able to visit your doctor or see your doctor, please raise your hand in Zoom. If you Zoom,
Okay,
you use MetaHealth or telehealth or any of those different apps.
yeah, and that was part of the question too. All right, so it seems like we have a couple people. So you can take them in order, and we will see what the experience was when they were
Yes.
using telemedicine services.
If you would like to share, please keep your hand in Zoom raised. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. Miss Gloria, what app did you use to visit your doctor online?
I've had the telephone call and also on the computer. But I don't think I necessarily like it because all they're really doing is answering your questions. They're not really examining you.
I
So,
see.
even though, they give you the option to come in the office or, tell her whatever, then to me, it's not really a good resource for examining a person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
That's just my take on it. I don't
Right.
necessarily like it. So if I have the option, most of the time, look, let me come in your office. At least you could take my blood pressure or my whatever, my weight. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
can see me, even though you seeing me. Like I'm seeing you now, and you seeing me, but that's not like really examining me.
Yeah.
And I will say, so when you set up this appointment with your doctor, they did not do any kind of, they did not send you an email, or they didn't send you to a website where they can take your vitals, or you can include pictures of your condition if it's something related with your skin. Did they ask you for anything of this?
No.
Yeah. That's okay. And the reason why I decided to come with this question is because, in the presentation, we mentioned telemedicine services. And I believe there are people who prefer it and there are people who don't prefer this as part of HTech. And Miss Gloria, for example, she doesn't think it's the best option, but think about a person who doesn't have access to any transportation or mobility is a problem, though they won't have like a thorough visit, like if you were in person, they will have a chance to at least be seen and be helped with their questions. I hope that is making sense when I say that.
Thank you, Miss Gloria. We really appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah.
And you want me to keep taking folks, Annie?
I'm ready. I mean, we
Okay.
can take them. Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
I think we should just go ahead and get started. But if you want to share your experiences in the chat, we'd love to see that as well.
Yeah, that would be nice. All right. So I'm assuming that we can see now the
Yep, you're good.
smartphone, right? Okay. So Alex was saying that you guys did Apple Watch. So the comparable application to Apple Watch is Fitbit. So Apple Watch is for devices related to Apple, right? Like most of you have an iPad, so therefore an Apple Watch would be convenient. But if you have an Android device, you have also the alternative of using Fitbit. So this is my Fitbit application, and this is very much age tech related because most people use these kind of applications to track things related to their concerns. So for example, in my Fitbit application, I get to see how many steps I take daily, how much calories I burn, how much I sleep, also how I control my stress. So for people who have perhaps blood pressure issues, that would be a very nice thing to do. You can control how many days you stay active. And if you don't, the application will tell you, stand up, go and do a little walk. So this is also something you can find in the application. You can see how many distance you walk, whether it's activity in your home or outside your home, it will count that in kilometers. The energy and health, this is very good in the sense that when you go to your heart, to your heart rate, it will show something that is called irregular rhythm notification. So if you have any irregular rhythm, cardiac rhythm, it will tell you about that. And normally it will track how it is and if you have variations. So if you pay attention to my example here, right, I have a baseline for my heart rate, normally 79, 78, 80. Anything above that or below that would be like an alarm for me. And whenever there is a kind of variation, it will tell me about that. The reason why this is important is because many of these kind of details allow you to stay in control of your health, which is something we don't have all the time because we don't know how to track it. So these kind of applications are useful for that. This application goes with a Fitbit tracker. So we were talking about wearable technology. So wearable technology are fitness trackers, those kind of pendants that you use to control if you fall. So when you fall, the pendant sends like an alarm to a response systems and they will send you help as soon as something has happened to you. So this is a very nice application that I personally be using for quite some time now. And not only it allowed me to stay in control of the aspects of my health that are important, but also allowed me to have this information on things that I want to discuss with my doctor also. Another way that I can think you can use age tech related things is, for example, I also have an application that allow me to control, like as I mentioned, I suffer of migraines, and this application allow me to see for how long I have a migraine, and I can report medication, and I can report how painful that pain is, and that also help me understanding what kind of medication that I can take, what works, what doesn't. So if you pay attention to just this a journal that or entry that I did. So for example, I was able to input when did my attack start. So I can input that by going to the start time and time. Here it says it's still going, but of course I forgot to log out that it end. It allowed me to see the kind of attack that I have, and you have multiple ones. And these apply to other things, other conditions that perhaps you have. You just have to find the application that is suited to your particular need. You can also describe the pain location, if you take any sort of medication, and even the pain intensity, right? For example, here are the levels of pain, being 10 when it hurts the most and being 0, no pain. Also a way to understand your pain, because this allow you to determine if you need medication, if you can use other counter, I cannot remember the word right. You can use other things that will help you manage that better. Like these applications, you also have applications that allow you to control your medications and what you take. Like you can log in the medication, right? So whatever you take, it will allow you to select from the list. So say if I use ibuprofen, it'll allow me to log in how much do I take, how many milligrams, and there are many applications that only do the controlling of the medicament you take, how much you take, how often you take it. In my case, this category is here because you have multiple options to relieve your pain, and therefore that is an option presented in this journey. Like this is a journey that I use for my migraines. And as I say, you probably can find other applications that allow you to control a particular health condition. Another application related to the topic we mentioned today is Home. This is a smart home application that allow you to control some of the devices, smart devices you have at home. So for example, with this application, I can control my TV. So it's kind of nice because it allows me to cast information to my TV. And I know this is not has health related, but it's part of H-Tech because H-Tech is not only related with health, but also to make your life easier in the sense that here you can use your cell phone has a control, like remote control. We all have a struggle with finding our remote control every once in a while. And this is just examples of how that H-Tech can help you stay in your house and live a little bit more comfortable, whatever that might look for you. There are options that perhaps you can take. Remember, you also have the voice assistants such as Amazon Alexa, right? Amazon Alexa is a voice assistant that allow you to listen to music, make calls, right? You can also ask for different things to stay cognitive active. They have dictionary and they have a variety of functions or skills that you can learn through the application. So for instance, if you are talking about prices and some of you might think, perhaps I cannot afford all these things, you can find something that is not as expensive and makes sense for the things you want to track, whether that is a fitness tracker, whether that is a voice assistant. So for example, this one, I believe I pay for my Echo, which is the smallest one of all. It will look very tiny, $80, and I pay for my fitness tracker about $120, right? And those are things that I use on my regular base to make things a little bit easier. And yeah, so I just want to show you some of the H-Tech related products that you can use to stay at home and age in place a little bit better. I know some of them will make sense for you, but I hope you kind of get the point that I was trying to make. So yeah.
Oh, again, thank you so much, Annie, for the demonstration. I loved the different apps. And you know what? I think it just in general goes to show how much you can do with just your phone or your iPad as well. So I love the Alexa. I can be like, hey, Alexa, what's the weather right now?
Yeah.
In Washington, it's 98 degrees Fahrenheit with mostly sunny skies. Today, you can expect some sun and thunderstorms, with a high of 102 degrees and a low of 74 degrees. Also, there's a heat advisory in effect until Thursday, August 1st, 8 p.m.
Wasn't that cool, right? That she could do that. I can, there's many different ways you can use tech, you know, at any age, right? I have an Alexa and it makes my life easier. So utilizing your devices for these different tasks can be very helpful as well. So thank you so much, Annie. Does anyone have any comments or anything they'd just like to share about Annie's session today in regards to H-Tech and her demonstration? Thank you. And make sure to stay on our poll to let us know how you felt about today's session. First up is Mr. Harold. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Alex. Thanks, Annie, for not being one of those people who come on here just to kill time and be talking yaki and no information that we really can use. So I thank you every time that Lisa I've come on and you've always had something that was pertinent and useful to the group, not just talking to some old folks to kill some time. So thank you for that. And lastly, I want to say to the lady who was talking earlier, I believe her name was Miss Gloria. You don't necessarily have to have an app. If you ever do that telemedicine kind of thing, you can request that they send you a nurse practitioner, etc., to your home to do all those vital signs kinds of things as you're talking to the doctor. I've used both telehealth without the nurse practitioner, and I've used the nurse practitioner as well. So I just want to encourage you, just don't throw it away totally. And it doesn't have to be an app. They'll bring their own stuff and you can hook it up and yada, yada, yada. So I just want to encourage you, don't throw the telehealth thing totally away. Something you might want to consider in the future. But you can always request, send me somebody to my house to take my vital signs, etc. And they'll do that. If they don't do it, go to the next one. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you,
Can I
Mr.
say
Hill.
something to Mr. Harold?
Yeah.
That was amazing. He just brought the point home. And Mr. Harold, thank you so much for the feedback. I really think a lot about what could be helpful for you guys when I do my presentations. And that's what I try to bring, resources and things that you can relate to. I know technology sometimes doesn't make a lot of sense, but if you can get at least one thing from my presentations, I would be happy to hear that. So I'm happy to hear that Mr. Harold gets something from what I said.
Oh, no, Annie, thank you. I agree with what Mr. Harold said. I love your presentations. They're so colorful and graphic, and they make us want to come back. So, just keep doing what you're doing. We really appreciate that. And our next hand is from Miss Louise. Thanks for joining. You had a comment about Annie's session today. Hope you're well.
Yeah, I really appreciate Annie's presentation. And I do have the virtual doctor sometimes, but I take my own blood pressure that morning. And so when the doctor comes on the video, I have everything written down so that I can have it available. And if I'm just changing medication or increase medication, I will do the virtual all the time. But if I wanted her to see me walk or to see my activity and how I move my arm, because I have tremors, then the next appointment I ask to go in so that she can see me walk and check. And so I don't just do the virtual all the time. I go in sometimes. And when you go in, they don't do a lot of examination, but at least they see you walk and see you, and they check all your little things, your legs and your eyes and so forth. So you can alternate, because sometimes driving is a problem to get to the doctor. So that's why I do both. And I think everything that you said really is helpful, because my mom used to have the doctor come to the house from the hospital center. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Ms. Louise.
Thank you so much, Louise. We really appreciate you sharing.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Yep. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Any other questions or comments for Annie? Again, thank you so much. It's always good to think about, again, how you can use your devices to help you out in your daily life. So again, thank you so much for coming on. Hey, Yvonne, hope you're well. Thanks for joining. You had a comment for Annie today?
Yes, thank you. Annie, it's always so good to see you. This is Yvonne. We've been friends a long time.
Yep.
But I wanted to say to my fellow seniors that through the Department of Aging and Community Living, the DC agency that helps us get these iPads, the Safe at Home program will allow you to get a motion sensor light, which is very helpful. You get up at night and you might not have adequate lighting, which can result in a fall.
Mm-hmm.
So look at the Safe at Home program and consider a motion sensor light. It's wonderful and very dependable, and it will come on if there's motion within, I think it's about 20 feet or something. There's a distance, you know, I think you had it in your presentation.
Yeah, it's
Annie.
about 10 to 15 feet away from.
Yes, yes. And that's a wonderful way to start with the technology.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything. Remember to hit the switch because the light automatically comes on once
Mhm.
you walk in the pathway
Yeah.
toward the bathroom or wherever you're going at night and there's not enough light. So thank you, Annie, again for your presentation. And thank you, Alex.
Thank you so much, Yvonne. Yeah, the one that you just mentioned, Yvonne, is the one that I was referencing in the presentation, that essentially they can help you get from room to room without, you know, having to deal with the hazards of objects in the middle, because it light up the path for you, which is very convenient.
Yes.
I have had at least no accidents, nothing bad has happened to me, but I tend not to turn on my light because if I'm sleepy, I don't want it. But these devices, you know, are very convenient for that kind of thing because you don't have to light up the whole place to be able to
Right.
watch, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's actually one of those technologies that if you are trying to age in place will help you a lot. Like anything that is wearable technology is very helpful. And you have different prices for those of you who might think I cannot afford it. And some of the community programs also subside, you know, some of these devices. You can always ask. There is no shame in asking what they offer. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Yvonne. We really appreciate the kind words. And I did put you know, for the Safe at Home program, you contact DACL and call for them, and you can see what's the status of that program. So please make sure you take advantage of it. Again, I put the number for it in the chat. All right. Well, again, thank you so much, Annie, for presenting with us today. We look forward to your September session as always. And thank you again for joining us today. It was a lot of fun. Let's all say thank you and goodbye to Annie, and see you soon. And make sure to stay on for the poll. But again, thank you so much, Annie. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you,
Annie.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Annie.
everybody.
Bye.
Take care. Stay safe in home.
Everything was.
See you, Annie.
See you next time. Bye,
Have a
guys.
great one.
Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you,
Bye.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
having me.
Bye.
Everybody, take
Good
care.
day.
Thank you, Annie.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.